Well, hello there. My name is Ferch, and I am here to tell you about some stories that I have. I've always wanted to do something like this. I've always wanted to share my stories because I think that my life, it's kind of like interesting to a certain extent. Some of my stories are funny, so I was thinking to myself, why not do this right now that I have the time? Might as well. I thought that it was gonna be great to start this whole journey by explaining my coming out story. The first person that I came out to was my best friend, like my guy best friend. No, never mind, my girl best friend. That was the first person that I told. I think I was in high school. It was my second year in high school, I believe, second to last year in high school. And so, I mean, I guess people knew back then when I was in high school that I was gay or whatever, but no one would ask me or no one would make any deal about it. In reality, we were all friends, everyone was pretty chill with me. It was a really nice moment in time for me. No one really cared. However, I increasingly grew kind of like, you know what, I want to tell this to somebody because I just want to feel free. And I feel like a lot of people would agree that it's liberating when you tell someone like, hey, this is the true me. And so I remember one day I was like, hey, her name is Valeria. So I was like, hey, Vale, I have to tell you something. And then I just told her, this is my preferences and whatnot. She was so cool with it. She was like, oh, it's fine. Don't worry. Like, I already knew and whatnot. And then after that, I told my guy best friend, and I was really scared to tell him because, well, I'm Hispanic and my friends are Hispanics as well. And perhaps you know that Hispanics are very macho and the culture is just like not as accepting. And this whole stigma of homosexuality is not okay and whatnot. So I was afraid of telling my best friend. I thought he was gonna get mad. I thought he was gonna, just stop talking to me because of my situation. But when I told him, he was like, oh, okay, well, these were my words. His name is Raul. I told him, Raul, I have to tell you something. I like guys. And he was like, okay. Like, literally, I kid you not, he was like, okay. And then he asked me, is that everything? And I was like, yeah, I guess. He was so cool with it. He was really accepting. He was really supportive of me, right? It was quite empowering, I'm sorry. Empowerful. Maybe is that a word? I don't know. Maybe we could use it as a word. It was quite empowering to have my both best friends supporting me. And then I remember that the third person that I told that I was gay, it was my sister. So I live in Texas, and it was spring break. Was it spring break? I think it was spring break when we went to South Padre Island. We rented a little condominium over there. We stayed over there for the weekend, something like that. It was really nice. And during that time, I was talking with a guy. Oh, I have a whole another story on that guy that I was talking to. That's for another video. So I told my sister, like, hey, you know what? I am gay. And she's like, oh my God, like, I didn't know. I didn't expect that. And I was like, well, I mean, are you sure you didn't know? But anyways. So she was really cool with it as well. She started asking me so many questions, which I actually really loved. I mean, she was like, oh my God, who are you talking to? Like, who's the guy? How do you feel? Oh my God, have you done this? Oh my God, have you done that? Oh my God, this, blah, 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 blah. So it was really nice. I never thought that I was gonna come out to my parents. I never thought that I was gonna do it just because, my mom, for example, my mom always sees other homosexual people and she's really mean towards them. She makes comments on how they live and how they look and who they are. She jokes a lot with that. My dad is completely homophobic. I remember this one time that he was at a restaurant and one of the waiters, well, he was gay, and my dad, like, on his face was telling him like faggot and whatnot. So that was pretty, traumatic for me. I won't forget that. I won't forget that. I don't live with my dad. He lives in Mexico, and I live here in Texas with my mom. So like I don't have much of a connection with my dad. I still haven't tell him about my situation, about me being gay, just because he's not such a big part of my life that he deserves to know this. And you know what, like I don't have the time to tell him. Like, he doesn't deserve to know this much about me. And if you want to hear about that whole another story, I can do another video. But I am pretty close to my mom. I love her. I know that she loves me, of course. I never thought that I was gonna tell her about this. In my mind, I always thought that when it was gonna be the time for me to tell her, you know what, I like men, I am attracted to men, it was gonna be when I had someone by my side, when I was already older, and when I was happy. So like, my plan was to demonstrate to her that no matter what I liked, I was happy, and I was really, having a plenty life. And happened that about 3 years ago, already in college, I think it was my freshman year, about to end my freshman year, I met a guy. This guy was so impactful in my life, and impactful in a bad way, that I had to tell my mom eventually. And I'm gonna make another video, and that story is just so big and complex that you definitely need to watch another video for that. But when all that happened, I just felt completely lonely and so desperate to tell someone, to get the help from someone. Now the thing is that at that point, a lot of my friends, basically everyone that knew me, like friends and acquaintances, they knew that I was gay. I was not trying to hide it, and not because I am really like I am not really flamboyant or out there, but I do speak about my sexuality, freely, I guess, except with my family. So then when I would speak with my friends about my troubles that I would have with this guy, it was never really the same as actually having someone of my family or my mom telling me what to do or how to react. Because my friends would be like, oh, well, yeah, I get it, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. But perhaps that when you tell something so important to someone that doesn't really get it, and it's not like your family, perhaps it just doesn't click for them, and they don't know how to support you. There's a lot of people that don't know how to support you, and that is okay. I mean, that's completely fine. But I was increasingly anxious. I was nervous. I was anxious. I was depressed at one point. I just needed to tell my mom. I just needed her to tell me, hey, it's okay. You're gonna be fine. This is how you should react. This is what you should do. So I remember that there was this one night, I was at her place, because I don't live with her. I didn't live with her back then as well. I was at her place, and I was laying down on her bed, and I just remember thinking to myself, you know what, this is the time, I'm gonna do it. So to protect myself, I guess, she had a little blanket. It was a red blanket, and I just like put it all the way here. And I said, Mom, I have to tell you something. She was like, what is it? But she was like on her computer, like don't minding me, whatever. And I was like, well, it's because I met someone. And she was like, oh, what's her name? And then I was like, well, that's the problem. It's not a her, it's a him. And she was like, literally, she was like, what do you mean a he? And I was like, fuck. And I was just like, well, yeah, I mean, it's a guy. I met a guy. Oh my God. That moment, she broke down. She started crying, asking me so many questions. But what was really interesting is that she started asking me for forgiveness. She was like asking me to forgive her for letting me go live alone. She was basically blaming it on herself, that because I was alone, or because I didn't have her by my side, that's why I was becoming gay or whatever. I truly don't know what's going on in her mind. But I was like, Mom, like, this is not your fault. Like, I've known this ever since I was a kid. This didn't happen like yesterday. I'm pretty sure of what I am. Never in my life she had ever asked me questions about my relationships or to my siblings. She's pretty like not open about that. But in that moment she asked me like, have you had like relationship with guys, with girls? Have you had sex with guys, with girls? Have you tried? Have you experienced that? And I was like, Mom, yes. And yes, I have tried all of the above. So I mean, I was like, you know what, like, I am sure of what I like. I'm sure of this. And it was really interesting to see her being kind of mad to then going into sad. But at the end, she just told me that, you know what, like, I've always done everything for you and your siblings to be okay and for your happiness. So that's what matters to me. And if you're happy, I am okay. And she accepted me because that was like 3 years ago. Up until today, she's still hoping that I get a girlfriend. Good luck, Mom. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we all have dreams. But yeah, after that, our relationship got a little bit better. I am just me when I'm with her now. Even if she doesn't like it, I just feel more confident on being myself. And at times she does ask me like, oh, well, have you seen that guy? The guy that I met? And I'm like, oh no, like, I haven't seen him. Or, oh yes, like, I saw him. And she's like, oh, he's whatever. And she worries about me. And then I also told my brother, which is also something that I was really stressed about. Because I was like, you know what, like, here's another guy that could potentially be super mad about this whole situation and being homophobic and whatnot. And I remember when I told him about this guy, and he got so mad that he wanted to go punch him and, make a fight, big deal out of it. I mean, it was a big deal. But I was like, no, like, it's okay, like, don't worry, I'm fine. And he accepted it. My brother was really cool with it as well. He was really kind with me. And I remember when I told him, he was like, well, I don't know what to tell you, like, it's okay. I've never been there. He literally said that. I've never been there. I like women, but I guess it's fine. I just thought it was really funny when he said that. And I know for a lot of people it's really hard. It is definitely way harder coming out to their parents, to their siblings, to their friends. But I have noticed that truly we make up more stuff in our minds. We make up more stories of like, oh my God, he's not gonna accept it. She's not gonna accept it. And in reality, at this point in 2020, I think it is more okay to come out, If you're watching this and you haven't come out to your parents or anybody close to you, I encourage you to do so. I mean, it all has to be at your own time. In reality, if you don't feel comfortable yet, then don't do it. But just remember that don't let yourself say no to something that can liberate you. Perhaps your parents already know. Perhaps your parents will accept you. Perhaps your guy best friend or all your guys best friends. Everybody will accept you. Hopefully. And if not, then eventually you'll grow up. You'll go somewhere else. You'll be yourself. You just gotta believe in you and stand up for who you are. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. And seek for your own happiness no matter what. Once you do that, the happiness that you will radiate, people will see it. And that will make a difference. This was my little coming out story. I know it's kind of like not that difficult, not that sad. It is pretty normal, pretty, chill. But that's why I wanted to share it, If I'm able to inspire someone to take this step, then why not? And well, I hope that you enjoyed this story. If you did, just leave it a like, subscribe. I'm gonna try to upload more videos like the one about my ex, and many more videos about my experiences. I truly do want to talk about all my experiences. So thank you. My name is Ferch, and I'll see you later.